This is my life now. This is all of our lives. Hey guys, I know it's been a while with all of the stuff going on. I hope everybody is staying safe and doing some solid social distancing. Now, today I thought I'd talk about some movies and also do something I've always wanted to do, and that's a mukbang. So I went on a run today in a park. Everyone was nice and socially isolated. We didn't touch each other or anything, so still need some fresh air occasionally. This is some Propel. Get those electrolytes back up. And I'm just gonna give some recommendations. First off, I saw the movie Kingdom, not the movie, sorry, the show Kingdom series, season 2. And I thought it was good. It was fine. It wasn't as groundbreaking as season 1. These little packets are a lifesaver. They're about 20-30 cents per packet if you buy them, in the box, and it's way cheaper than an actual bottles of Propel. They taste basically the same. But yeah, real quick, I'll show you my food. So here we have the main course: Harris Teeter prime rib. Let's see if it focuses. With some potatoes and veggies. We have this half lobster roll that I shared with my sister. And then we have a plate of fruit and a couple of Pop-Tarts. All right, I'm just gonna dive right in. This is some au jus sauce, and then some karma hot sauce from Hot Ones. This is really good. It's super spicy, but I just like a little kick. But yeah, I thought the story was fine. I really liked where they took the story, but on execution, they kind of treated the audience like they were a little bit dumb. They over-explained everything, and it just wasn't as tight as the first one. All right, here we go. I haven't eaten in 7 hours now, so yeah, that hits the spot. So in Kingdom 2, they continue where we left off. And again, I liked all the characters. I liked the ideas in the story, but they utilize a lot of flashbacks, especially after certain characters have come and gone. And they use that to explain to us, what the history was. And that's great, but oftentimes we're already a step ahead of them. Like, we understand what happened, we understand the nature of certain relationships, and then they have these extra scenes that felt unnecessary, but they were nice to watch. But yeah, overall, I wouldn't say it was a disappointment, but it just wasn't as good as season 1. And that's not uncommon, but I think the first season, they treated the audience with a little bit more respect, but maybe too many people got lost. There are still a lot of characters and a lot of things happening, so maybe second season was just trying to make sure nobody got lost along the way. Overall, if you're a fan of the first season, I think it's definitely still worth a watch. So you know what? I'm just going to recommend a bunch of movies real quick, and then I'll talk about them. But just so you have my recommendation, you don't have to sit through this whole video if you don't want to. Mask of Zorro, Altered Carbon, Jerry Maguire, Drive, and Burning. And that's all available on Netflix to watch as of right now. And today's date is... What's today's date? The 19th of March. As of the 19th of March, these are all films you can watch right now. Yeah, that's good. I'm really hungry. I watch this dude, Ben Dean, a lot. I love his mukbangs. I think I like the aesthetic. I like the sounds. And he just shovels food, so I'm gonna try to emulate him. So if you're about my age, I'm 31 now. I don't know why I just outed myself, but when I was a kid, I think middle school or something, I don't remember, but I watched Mask of Zorro and I loved it. It was it was so much fun. Watching it again recently, dude, I still think it really holds up. If you're into action adventures, I feel like it's such a complete action adventure movie. You have this dude, Antonio Banderas, who's kind of a nobody, he's a drunk, and gets to become Zorro, you know, the sexy Antonio Banderas that we all know and love. And Catherine Zeta-Jones, super hot. Even as a younger kid, I knew like, well, maybe as a younger kid, I definitely knew that this lady is very attractive. We have Anthony Hopkins. He's amazing in it as Zorro's mentor, as the old Zorro and the new Zorro's mentor. And we have a good, classic, very bad baddie. And there's a lot of interesting interpersonal dynamic relationships and old grudges. And it's just such a fun movie. It's simple, it's fun, it's sexy. The action scenes are great, and the music is very fun as well. And you just feel it, and you're just taken for the ride. And yeah, so I really recommend that film. All right, let's try this lobster roll. It's pretty soggy. It's probably not going to taste. Okay, I heard it focus a little, but let's go for it. It's good. Still very good. The bread's super soggy. I'm not going to eat all the bread. All right. Next on my list, which I'm still in the process of watching, I haven't finished, is Altered Carbon. I love the ideas on this show. I love the aesthetics. I love most of the actors. I think Joel Kinnaman does an amazing job as the main character. If you don't know what it's about, it's in a sci-fi futuristic world where people inhabit skins, and these are like body suits. They're organic bodies, but the soul of a person is in this little digital hard drive type thing. So you can literally just swap someone out into different skins or, you know, bodies. And obviously it's kind of a dystopian sci-fi. So very rich people have access to a lot of different bodies. They can live any type of life they want. You can be any type of person you want. If you're poor, you don't have the same luxuries. And you just have these really cool situations where, you know, you could be a little girl who gets murdered, and your body is not there anymore because it, you know, gets killed or maimed, or just you can't use it anymore, and you get put into like an old person's body or an old lady because you can't afford to have a nicer body. And that's one of the main, I guess, ideas in the movie. And there's a ton of all these other really cool ideas of, you know, virtual reality stuff. There's all these terms. I think the world building is very strong. It's really entertaining. Execution, not quite as strong. So we have all this interesting setup, but it doesn't really go as deep as it can. And also the dialogue is just not quite as tight as some of the better shows. I find that they kind of meander a little bit when they're talking to each other, and I can always feel just the written lines occasionally. But overall, I would still recommend the show. It's really good to just put on background, and And then if I miss something, put on background when I'm doing some work or watching something else, and then I'll just watch like a recap later, just because I'm just waiting for the cool fight scenes or some cool moments. Yeah, I would recommend it. I know the second season just came out, and I heard the second season's even better. So I wanted to just watch the second season, but the first season automatically started, and I just kept watching. So the next movie I want to recommend is Jerry Maguire. I literally just watched it yesterday. I love that movie. I've watched it maybe 6 times. Jerry Maguire is about a sports agent who spontaneously develops a conscience. All of a sudden he feels like, oh, we're not caring about the players. We're pushing them to play even when they could be getting hurt. So he writes a manifesto about wanting or aspiring to be a better human being and not just being a good sports agent. He's very successful at it. But because of this manifesto, he gets fired from his job, and he loses all of his clients except one, played by Cuba Gooding Jr. And this guy's trouble, and he has to find a way to get this guy the best contract possible. So we have that storyline, but then we have basically the main storyline, which is a love story between him and the one employee that chooses to leave their firm and support him. And yeah, this is a rom-com sports drama movie. It has so many different elements, but I think they are all done so well. And at its heart, it's the love story. And she's a single mom. She feels like a real person. Tom Cruise is peak Tom Cruise. And if you've watched a couple of my other videos, you know that I really like Tom Cruise. His personal life aside, I think he's a fantastic actor. He commits like crazy. He really, really cares. And in this film, I think you can see how strong he is as a performer. Every single scene he's in is just filled with energy that it's really unmatched. I watched this film and it's so clear to me why he's a superstar. The script is also so good. Every time I just turn this film on just to watch a little bit of my favorite scene, or just to, I want to watch a little bit, but I always end up watching all of it, and that's because every scene is just so compelling, and you just can't stop watching. This whole movie is just, again, every scene, he wants something. You can tell he wants something. And there's always conflict. And Cuba Gooding Jr., he won an Oscar for his role. And he is very good. But I think Tom Cruise is better. This movie begat so many classic lines. Show me the money. You complete me. Those are the two big ones. But yeah, I don't know why, but this film gets to me every time. You should really watch it if you haven't. I think Renee Zellweger in this film, she's just great. You don't see characters like her. Even now, even in this like kind of woke culture, in rom-coms, or at least in the past 10, 15 years, generally they're still very pretty people who have like this artificial thing about them where, oh, I'm a maid, or oh, I'm just a bookkeeper, but they still seem pretty glamorous. They're either really hot or they're just kind of quirky, or I don't know. But in Jerry Maguire, she's different because we really see her being a mom to the kid. I think just seeing her being a struggling mom, it just makes her so much more authentic. And you understand why she would fall for this energetic, handsome Tom Cruise. And at the same time, you understand why he falls for her. Because, he's successful, but he's missing this real love that she has. And she's just missing some excitement. And at first it's like a surface level attraction, but it very quickly becomes deeper. And yeah, great characters, great story. One of my favorite rom-com, if you would consider it a rom-com, for sure. Oh, it's kind of spicy. It's very spicy. It's good though. Dude, I might not be able to finish. That's too ambitious. Now, there's two other movies I'm definitely talking about, but they're on Netflix right now, so let's just talk about it again. Also, I haven't talked to anybody in a while, so. Drive and Burning. Drive is the movie, in addition to Oldboy, that encouraged me or made me really, really want to make films. Because up until that point, I would see movies as just entertainment, just something fun, like a roller coaster ride. You don't ride a roller coaster and then think critically about things or your life or ideas for the most part. But watching Drive, it made me feel things I hadn't felt before. So I think if you can do that in a film, that's already a plus. But it was also such a minimalistic movie. There's not that much dialogue. There's not that many things that happen. But it still made me feel so much. And that was just through the visuals and the music. And music's always made me feel good. But I know some people love music. I'm not that much a music person for some reason, even though I personally love music. But movies are the ones, or it's the type of medium that will really, really get to me. And Drive is the first film that made me understand why some people like these weird artistic films that always seem so foreign to me. Either they're too slow or there's too little plot, and most people just watch them and feel like, oh, why do you like them? It's so boring. And Drive is a film, I mean, a lot of people like it, but it's still not a mainstream film where there's constant action and, there's the quippy dialogue or whatever that mainstream would like. Drive is a film that is kind of an art film, but it has just enough action to kind of lead people into that world. And it was, it really just changed the way I thought about what a film could do. And it's like, at the time, the type of film I wanted to make, because I thought, oh, this is real art. Now, having written a lot and made a lot of my own films, I understand that even the most generic movie that people shit on is an incredible feat. It's a miracle anything ever gets made once you've been on a set. And I've been on some big sets, and also worked on my own things, and it's chaos. So to see like a good film like Drive be made and a crazy film like Transformers be made, they're both miracles in my opinion. Finally, we have Burning. You can check out my other review, but yeah, if you like artsy, slow stuff, but is critically acclaimed for some reason, and you're curious, like, dude, this is it. This movie. I was so lost through most of this film. So lost. But I could not stop watching. You really have no idea what's going on. and it's beautiful. Everything's beautiful. The acting is great. The characters are so strange, but yeah, there's just this like ethereal quality to the film, and then once you see where this film is trying to go, you're just completely mesmerized. And I know the director has tried to do. I'm sorry, he's not tried. He's well known. He's done a bunch of other super famous, critically acclaimed stuff. But yeah, I don't even want to say anymore. It's just really good. The film and this is pretty good. Okay, I lied. I apparently am hungry enough to finish, but I think I was kind of rushing. I don't know why. So that was kind of all the films I wanted to talk about, and I'm still not done with my food. So I'll just talk a little bit about why I've been gone for so long. It's nothing too crazy, but I have been busy. I think the last review I made was almost a year ago. So basically, I went on another meditation retreat. It was my second 10-day. And I got really, really sick. Like, I was dying. Like, I caught the flu, or not the flu. Well, I don't want to say that now. It wasn't the flu. I just caught a cough. And you're not supposed to talk or say anything. And I had my pride and ego. But in hindsight, I was pretty sick. I just kept coughing, and I felt so self-conscious because I'd be in this big meditation hall with 30 other people. You know, I'd be the one coughing. You know, that I was that person. I just couldn't control it. And eventually, like, there was dried blood in my throat and my nose. And anyways, I suffered through that. And I had to travel the moment I came out. And it was pretty traumatizing. And then after that happened, I started meditating a lot more. Because I felt like I didn't get my money's worth, even though it was free. But I just wanted to meditate more because I felt like that whole time I was dealing with my sickness. So I meditated a lot more. I started doing 2 hours every day for like 2 or 3 months. And I reached a point where I felt a little bit detached. And up to that point, I had also just been writing a lot. So even though I have friends and I see them probably on a weekly basis, I think in my head, I felt really isolated. Even with people, I felt isolated just because I was doing something different. I was trying to be a filmmaker, and I'm still living in the East Coast where there's not that many filmmakers. I also have my own film companies where I shoot weddings and commercials. And it's a lot of work to make a lot less money than I used to when I used to be a consultant. And even though I wasn't working that hard, I think I never stopped putting pressure on myself that I should be working for nearly 4 years. Even though I dicked around so much at that time, it was always in the back of my head that I either should be writing or I should be working. So last summer, I basically fell into a mini rut. I don't want to call it depression because I don't think it was like that per se, even though I did feel very tired and I didn't do anything for a couple months. That's also when I stopped making YouTube videos completely. A part of me felt like I don't want to judge people's work anymore, and I feel like I was saying the same thing over and over again. But yeah, very long story short, eventually I just stopped meditating. I focused on, getting back into shape. I started working a lot more. I shot a bunch of weddings. I also worked on 2 different TV shows. I worked on Dispatches from Elsewhere as a PA. That was a super cool learning experience. I also worked on an editor for an NBC sports show. And I was also taking a bunch of writing classes, and they're by Corey Mandel. I highly recommend them. But their class is such a aggressive rearrange of what you think you know about screenwriting that it paralyzes you. So I was working, as I was saying, I was working on these shows, I was managing my business, I was taking this class, and it just got really busy. So that's a very long way of saying why I haven't made videos in a while. I was slated to shoot 17 weddings. They're not all ones I have to edit. I will shoot for other companies, but a majority of them were. I had 1 in April, 5 in May. April 1 got canceled. At the rate things are going, I don't know if it's the smartest idea, but May is in that time period where maybe it could be better, but I'm not feeling super hopeful. The good thing is now I don't have to worry about my business anymore. I could do all the marketing in the world. If crowds are dangerous, you can't really have weddings. You could have very small weddings, but then you wouldn't want to hire a professional videographer at, those price points. Like, it still wouldn't be like a good living. So right now, I can just really fully focus on writing, which is nice. I'm working on a horror musical. It's something I started April of last year. I'm on my 4th rewrite now. Big rewrite. And I think it's close. Both to a place where I'm not embarrassed to show it, but also close-ish to a place where, I think it could hopefully maybe get some traction somewhere. Let's go for this Pop-Tart. This is a cherry Pop-Tart. Definitely not my favorite, but it's still a Pop-Tart, so. Tastes exactly like a Pop-Tart. Yeah, so as I'm winding down this meal, I think I'm definitely going to start making more YouTube videos. Just because there might not be anything else to do. I'm in the midst of deep cleaning my room. I want this view to look good. I want a couple of other views to look good. I've just acquired so much stuff shooting videos that I really need to make this space more functional as opposed to a mausoleum of stuff that I'm never willing to throw out. As messy as this is behind me, this is literally the cleanest part of the room. And you also can't see the floor. But it's gonna look nicer. I promise me and you. I really hope. I don't really know what else I can talk about. This is difficult, so let's talk about this. This is an idea I've had for a while. I've always wanted to eat and talk about movies. I might need to rethink that. This is fun. I'm gonna do it again. I want to do it again. But you can't talk and eat at the same time, no matter how hard you try. I don't know. You have to let me know if you enjoy this format. I love both things. I love watching movie reviews, and I also love watching mukbangs. I don't think I've seen it combined like this. People will casually talk about movies, but I was wondering if I could make this like a thing. So Give me your feedback. I miscalculated. I thought 5 movies would be enough. I'm a pretty fast eater. But now I'm talking about myself. If I were to do this in the future, I think I would just want to talk about the movies. I don't really want to talk about myself. I think I can finish. So I'm just going to do it since I'm not a quitter. Wait. The moment I said that sentence, I felt really full all of a sudden. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Again, sorry for the long hiatus. I'm definitely going to be making more videos, especially now that we have the time. So if you enjoyed that, let me know. This channel is going to be movie reviews and analyses of movies, just all things movies. As an aspiring screenwriter slash actually a screenwriter, just unemployed, I can hopefully bring a different perspective to a lot of films. And I try to look for the good and the director's intent behind all the films I watch. So thanks again, and stay safe. Social distancing is a thing. Just remember to breathe. It's gonna get worse. So, and that's my hopeful message. It's gonna get worse, so appreciate it right now before it gets worse. All right, bye. Oh, that was a lot of food.